There. Hopefully this is working. It says it is. Um, Welcome to this list review video. My name's Dan. I like talking about Warhammer. I'm a bit of a Warhammer veteran. So after the meta video, which we had a look at, which I've published earlier on today, I thought we'd have a look at some lists and just go through, what's been happening in the world of competitive Warhammer: The Old World, and yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Plus, also, somebody sent in a list for me to have a look at. So, if I forget, let me know. Right, hold on a sec. Let's just make that a bit bigger. Hello world. So hopefully that chat should be working. Yes, it is. Lovely. Excellent. So everything's firing as it should. So we had a few tournaments last weekend. Lurdis Games. Lurds, which is the old name for Leeds, which took place in Leeds. I think that one qualified. I think that one might have done. There's been quite a few in Australia this week. That one I might have missed and might have to put in next week. I thought there was more than that. Lids. I thought there was another one in Australia. NB Monthly. Yeah, 5 seems about right. And then I think there was one on the other one. So let's have a look at the mustering of arms first. First off, well done to Robbie, who managed to essentially clear the board 3 times, which is pretty good, pretty impressive. So we'll have a look at his list, which is interesting because I want to take Lizardman next time. And then we've got Beastman coming in second, James Clark, congrats, and Warwick Tony Hunt Swallow coming in third with Vampire Counts, getting held to a draw by Daryl Jones, Warriors of Chaos player, who was on home turf. Anybody interesting? Beastman down the bottom. So let's have a look at that one. Why? So we got a Great Bray Shaman, we've got Doomball, we've got some Ghouls, Warhound, Minotaurs, Minotaur. Maybe the Minotaurs aren't as effective as I thought. He's gone real heavy on the old Minotaur. But then again, I know he does have a Doomball, doesn't he? Interesting. He hasn't got Slug Skin though, has he? So he's not getting the -1 to hit. Slug Skin's like one of the best things they've got. He's got the Hag Tree Fetish, which is one of the other really good things that they've got. So yeah, I don't know what happened there. Obviously just got a bit unlucky. Warwick Hunt, who came in third with Vampire Counts, has got Munch Thetavern, don't know. Couple of Banshees, double. Okay, he's gone in heavy on screens, has he? Yeah, he's got 2 Terrorgeists as well. So he's got 2 Terrorgeists. Obviously, he's gone for stuff that screams. 6 screaming attacks, absolutely horrible. Scepter of de Noiro, which is absolutely fine, makes sense. And quick Talisman of Protection on the Master Necromancer. Interestingly, put his general on a Mortis Engine, making it a large target. Typically, that's not a good idea, but I guess with a 5-up ward and a 5-up regen, it's probably okay. You can probably tank a few cannon shots. Basically, 5-up means that only 4 out of 9 attacks are going to get through. So you're going to have to hit it with, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 cannons in one turn to take it down. So with the Talisman of Protection, it's much less susceptible than initially might seem the case. But still, heavy, like, cannon meta, shooting meta army should be able to take it down. Josh says, I've been having fun with the Dragon meta with Shield of Grond and Pendant of Caleth. I bet you have. To anybody who's not aware, that's basically the Shield of Grond. No, the Pendant of Caleth, sorry, is a bit like the Bretonian Prayer, but better. So you get a 5 at ward against strength 4 or less, and a 4 at ward against strength 5 or more. Combined with the fact that it's on a dragon means, toughness 6. So, and then the other problem is the Shield of Grond means, I think it's just in combat. Anyway, -1 strength on attacks. So it's pretty nasty. That's a horrible, horrible combination. So well done. Very difficult to kill. And also, it's a black dragon, so it's got a bit of output. But anyway, Warwick Hunt, well done with the Monk Scream. Going for the old Edvard Munch thing. Monk, the tavern. What's that got to do with Edvard Munch? Has that got anything to do with it? In the tavern. Painting by Edvard Munch. Oh, there you go. That's that. I don't know. I don't know. Right. And then James Clark with his Beastmen Brayherds. He's got Doom Ball. There you go. There's Slugskin. Yeah, because we had a look at a Beastman thing that didn't do very well. He's got the Slugskin. That's pretty important. Bedazzling Helm on it, so it's -2 to hit. On a Doom Ball, that's pretty nasty. He's got a Black Battle Standard Bearer with a War Banner. Mangelder, don't know what that does. And then he's got the Hag Tree, Fetish, and Ruby Ring of Ruin on the Great Bray Shaman, who's on a chariot. Yeah, there's the chariot. He's on a chariot. Then he's got a big block of Gores, presumably to host the War Gore and the Doom Ball. You typically go for Ungors because Ungors have got like their bases aligned with the size of the Doom Ball, so you can fit the Doom Ball in the first few ranks. So like the Doom Ball, I think, takes the place of 4 Ungors, whereas Gores, it's a different base size, so you've got to put it on the side. Not that it makes much of a difference, but still. Then he's got Chariot, single Razor Gores, which are great. He's got a couple of Gorgons, so some really horrible, monstery sort of things. And has he made the General? Who's the General? Doesn't say. I think you've got to make the Great Bray Shaman the General in order to get the Gorgon as special, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And then Robbie Susan. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. He has been emailing me. I really should have asked, but anyway. Scylla, Howls the Fury, Old Blood on Carnosaur, nice. Blade of Revered, I can't even say it. Revered Zunki, Talisman of Protection, obviously. Blade of Revered Zunki. What's that do? I'm just going to have a quick look because I want to take Lizardman to the next tournament I go to. I need to get a Slan and some Skinks, I think, but all those Slan, I don't know. Where's Blade of Revered Zunki? No armor award. It's that one. It's the big one. No armor award saves. Strength 5, which basically strength 6 attacks. No armor award saves, which is pretty nasty. Then we've got a Skink Priest. Xurkzil. Slam Mage Priest. He has got Slam Mage with Higher State of Mind, which is ethereal, I think. And he's got a Law Familiar and Elementalism. Plague of Rust, perhaps? I mean, AP is a bit of a problem for Lizardmen, so yeah. He's got a small unit of Saurus Warriors. He's got some Chameleon Skinks. He's got quite a few units of Skinks. Quite a lot of Skinks. He's got some Temple Guard as well. And he's got 3 Bastillodon. I really like Bastillodon. This is good. I like to see this. I think they're really good. I've only got 2 in my list. I actually really like. I haven't got any of them nearby. Nope. But I really like the Stegodon as well, because its output is just outstanding. But there is a problem with it sort of getting there. But yeah, anyway, Robbie, what do I know? Robbie's won 3 tournaments, I think, with 100% win rate with this kind of stuff. So he obviously knows what he's doing. So yeah, well done, Robbie. Excellent. Yeah, particularly that Old Blood. That's gonna do some work. Like 407 points. And I guess the thing with it being strength 6 and you don't get any armor saves is it's really, really good against monsters. The Carnosaur being really good against monsters as well. So yeah, really good, really clever. Right, so Robbie won that. Then we're NB monthly, the Old World one dayer. This was Australia. Yeah, it was Australia. You've got Hermetic Hipster says yo. I say yo back. Yo to thee. Shut up, Dan. Don't be weird. Michael Smith from Astartes Bay comes in third with Brett's. Dwarves coming in second. Michael Childs. I know that name from somewhere. Where do I know that name from? And Tomb King's coming in last. So let's have a look at that. That's worthy of looking at, isn't it? High Priest, Mortuary Priest, Mortuary. He's gone for a Mortuary Cult, has he? And he's come last. Oh no, hold on. He's not upgraded any of the wizard levels, which is fine. You don't have to. He's gone. This is just. He's got a Tomb King and a Chariot. He's got the Armour of Ages, which is, you know, that's pretty much a must take. He's got some chariots, got some horse archers, warriors, tomb guard, little unit of archers, tomb guard, 2 scorpions. I like scorpions. Look, here's mine. Still yet to be painted. A casket and one of these boys as well. Screaming Skull Catapult. Look at that. Lovely things. Quite cool models as well. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know why that's not done so well. It is a bit messy. There's a lot of stuff in there that's like, I'm not quite sure what it's for. The skeleton horse archers do have chariot runners. So that little unit of chariots with the Tomb King, the horse archers can kind of float ahead of it. I don't know why you take skeleton archers when you can take skeleton skirmishers for the same price. I've said that. I think you can take them for the same price. Even if they're a point more, they're definitely worth it because they're just better. But you know, let's just have a quick check just to make sure I am not totally talking out of my backside. They're about here on the dock, aren't they? Where are they? Skeleton skirmishers. Yeah. In fact, they've got movement 5. And these have got chariot runners. Warbows. Yeah, so they're the same points cost, except they've got 1 more pip of movement and they skirmish. Which, you know, if that's their job, these little things need to be getting up there. So, and they've also got Vanguard, which means they get to make a 5-inch move before the game starts. So, to me, they're just like infinitely better for the same cost. So yeah, a bit confusing. I guess you can't give them light armor, but you wouldn't bother anyway. I mean, I wouldn't bother giving skeleton archers light armor. Yeah, he hasn't done. So I don't know why you'd not take skirmishers. Cool. So that's the list that didn't do so well. Then I can't remember which way around it was. Was it him? He was the winner. The winner was Colm. So Michael Smith came in third with his Duke on Royal Pegasus with Gromwell Greathelm, Heartwood. Oh, he's gone for the Virtue of Knightly Temper, not the Virtue of Heroism. Virtue of Heroism is the one that you typically see, which is Killing Blow and Monster Slayer. Great ability. Virtue of Knightly Temper is Hate Everybody and D3 extra attacks. I think it's D3 extra attacks on the charge, something like that. Anyway, it's brilliant, especially in combination with the Heartwood Lance, which is, I think, just a normal lance, except it's strength +3 and AP 3. I think that's how that works off the top of my head. He's got a prophetess with a prayer icon of Canel, which I forget what that does. It's all right. I remember it being all right, but I can't remember what it does. Has he got Grail Knights? No, he's not. He's not got the Falcon Horn and Fredemund, which I think is like an auto include for Bretonnians. So it's pretty much an auto include because it just turns off the enemy's ability to fly, which is fantastic, especially if you're coming up against something like this. It's being able to make that like movement 5 and can't march, that's pretty impactful considering you can't do anything about it. It's a proper like negative play experience, but it's good. He's got a cheap unit of men-at-arms. In fact, all sizes of men-at-arms are cheap units. He's got small units of mounted Knights of the Realm. He's got Pegasus Knights. These are like one of the best units in the game, so max out on those. He's got some Grail Knights. Now, typically you see Grail Knights because you can give the champion of the Grail Knight the Falcon Horn of Fredemund, which means that you get to use it quite a lot because they can all challenge individually, so he can't be targeted in a challenge, etc, etc, etc. So that's typically where you see the Falcon Horn, really, in this little unit of Grail Knights. But quite often you don't see the Grail Knights at all. You just see more Pegasus Knights, to be honest, because the Pegasus Knights are better, and the Falcon Horn can go up here with one of the characters, really. But yeah, I mean, he's coming third, which is an excellent result, managing to lose. Who did he lose to? He lost to Colm in the end, the chap who won. So it was a Bretonia off. Oh, interesting. Let's have a look at the winner then. Colm, congratulations for winning. Colm has... Sorry, I might yelp in a sec. Colm has... I just needed to move my knees still. I'm terrible today for some reason. It's very annoying. The Colm has the Green Knight, which some people say is overpowered. I think it's absolutely fine. Like, it's just difficult to deal with. But, once you've figured it out, it's pretty easy. And when I say once you've figured it out, you've just got to combat res it, really, unless you've got magical attacks, in which case you can do that. He's got a Duke with Virtue of Heroism and the Gromwell Greathelm on a Hippogriff, which is interesting. You don't see Hippogriffs very often. Then he's got the BSB with the Falcon Horn on a Royal Peg, which makes sense. Alright, mate. He's got 2 units of Pegasus Knights, a couple of small units of Knights of the Realm, quite a big block of Men-at-Arms. It's an interesting list, this. I wonder how it actually won. He's got quite a lot of peasant skirmishers, peasant bowmen as skirmishers, 40 of them, which is interesting. So sort of flooding the table with peasanty skirmishers. Maybe, yeah, and he's got the Falcon... now, there you go. This is why he won, because he's got the Falcon Horn of Fredemund, and his opponent had 6 Pegasus Knights, and he had a lot of flying characters, so the Falcon Horn just allowed him to turn it off. This is why I think this item, Falcon Horn of Fredemund, auto-include in Bretonia. You've got to take it. It's just so powerful. It's brilliant. And yeah, okay, if you're playing dwarves, it's a waste of, I think, 40 points, right? Well, it's maybe not. Maybe they've got gyrocopters, turning off fly for gyrocopters. It's pretty nasty. Because I think they've only got like movement 2 or 3. You can just imagine this. Turn off fly with a gyrocopter, this grumpy dwarf guy, bloody pointy-eared, bloody humans. Half-elf nonsense. Anyway, well done, Colm. Did very well. The reason I did the 2 Bretts is because there was a mirror match in the final, basically. However, Michael Childs managed to slip into second with dwarves, so that's worth looking at. King, Rune of Parrying, minus... No, it's not -1 to hit, is it? What is it? Rune of Parrying... I think whoever's attacking him is -1 weapon skill, something like that. I can't remember. Rune of Preservation, that's a single 6 ward, and then 2 Runes of Fury is essentially +2 attacks. So Parrying and 2 Fury will be on his Great Weapon, and Preservation will be a Talisman rune. So he's all good. that all makes sense. He's on shield bearers as well, which gives him maybe an extra pip of toughness and some more attacks and stuff. So he's pretty decent. Then we got a Thane who's got the Master Rune of Grunyi, which is pretty much, you see that quite a lot. Master Rune of Grunyi is 5-up ward save on the unit he's in, plus friendly units within 6 inches get a 6-up ward. It's important to read the rules because it's 6-up ward against shooting only. Lots of people don't read the against shooting only bit. And then he's got the Master Rune of Gromril on his armour, because you can take an unlimited point banner and then an unlimited and then up to 75 points I think on other stuff. So I forget what the Master Rune of Gromril does, so let's just have a quick look because I can't remember. Runic items, Master Rune of Armour Rune Gromril. Oh, 2-up, which can't be improved in any way. I'll just show you the Master Rune of Grunyi. Yeah, 6-up ward save against anyone suffered during the shooting phase. So it's not just against magic missile. It's not just against like arrows and stuff. It works against magic missiles too. But, you know, 80 points. I mean, 5-up ward is pretty good. Okay. Oh, yeah, Rune of Parrying. I might as well check that, mightn't I? Because I didn't know what that did. Rune of Parrying. Oh, it's expensive. No, it is -1 to hit. Oh, and you could take 2 of them. So you could... it's not a Master Rune, is it? So you could take 3 and make him -3 to hit. Oh, I love dwarves. They're so trolly. They're just... Oh, I love and hate dwarves at the same time. Then we've got some Longbeards, which... Some people really like Longbeards. I mean, they're okay. They allow you to reroll panic tests for units around them. It's pretty good. They've kind of got this like reroll panic bubble thing. He's got some Rangers. Rangers are one of the best units in the Dwarf roster, so of course he has. He's got some Ironbreakers. I really like Ironbreakers with just basic hand weapons, you know, because you got a 3-up save. Has he got the... He's got the Anvil of Doom. Yeah, so the Anvil of Doom basically can make them have a 2-up save, re-rolling failed saves, and they've got an inbuilt 6-up ward as well, which is just nuts. You know, 2-up re-rolling, like, absolutely horrendous. And he's been really smart in that he's not gone for really massive bricks of dwarves. You need a sort of a modest size unit. The problem is if you make a massive brick, then your opponent's just not going to charge them, so they're just not going to get into combat. So you got to incentivize them to have a go at you. He's got a gyrocopter, a single gyrocopter, and he's got 2 units of 10 Iron Drakes. Iron Drakes are really good. Like I can't say this enough. Iron Drakes are really good. Gyrocopters are useful because they fulfill a role, but maybe you only need one of them. But yeah, Iron Drakes are pretty good. They've got some pretty nasty... Drake guns are pretty nasty. I mean, yeah, anyway. So, Michael, well done for beating the meta and coming in second with Dwarves. That's a very good result. Very good result. The Dowie should be rightly proud. This is Dragon's Lair grand opening weekend. This was over in Australia. Yeah, it was Australia as well. So we've got Josh Fennick coming in third with his Warriors of Chaos. We've got Clint Hill coming in second with Kingdom of Bretonia. And Guni Yildiz with winning a tournament with Dark Elves. So that list is worth looking at, isn't it? So, third place, well done Josh. Warriors of Chaos, we've got Chaos Lord, Full Plate, Mark and Nurgle, Demonic Mount. Oh, interesting. Here's my Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount. It's... you might recognise him. He's a bit... I've lost his head, though. I don't know where that's gone. But that's what I'm going to try next time I take Chaos. I was thinking, actually, next time I take Chaos, either running a Chariot Sorcerer Lord dude or a Sorcerer Lord on Demonic Mount as well, which I've got here, that old model. Quite like that one. Not sure which. I'm not sure whether Demonic Mounts are great or not. But anyway... I quite like the fact that it's basically still like a single skirmisher sort of thing, which is pretty cool. So anyway, Demonic Mount, Bedazzling Helm, so gets the -1 to hit. Ground of Everlasting Conquest is a 5-up regen. He's got a 5-up ward inbuilt anyway, because, you know, Chaos Lords do. He's got Exalted Champion, which is the middle one with 3 wounds, I think, or has he got more attacks? Basically, there's an Aspiring and an Exalted Champion. The Exalted Champion is slightly better. He's gone for the better one, basically, is the Battle Standard Bearer with a Steed, Biting Blade. Has he got some Chosen for them to go in? Yeah, 7 Chosen Knights. Drilled. Banner of Rage, that's Perma Frenzy. That's nasty. Mark of Chaos Undivided, which you don't need. And the reason you don't need it is because they've got permanently frenzied, so they're permanently immune to psychology. Mark of Chaos Undivided allows you to re-roll failed fear, terror, and panic tests. You don't care because you're permanently frenzied. You might as well upgrade them to Nurgle for the re-roll 6s to hit if you're going to do this, or Slaanesh for the +1 to initiative in the first round of combat. Those two work quite nicely with the Banner of Rage. Mark of Khorne is pointless because you know there's no sense in doubling down on frenzy, and Tzeentch, you know, maybe if you want to like boost your magic resistance a bit and give yourself flaming attacks, maybe that might be a reason you take Tzeentch. But tournament wise, I think Nurgle comes first with this kind of with the Banner of Rage, and then. But realistically, you don't want like 377 points and you not being able to control where they go. Mark of Khorne Knights, this is probably the most sensible way to fill out your core. He's got some Warhounds with Vanguard, and he's got a Shaggoth with... He hasn't got a 2-up save. No, it only costs you 15 points to turn that into a 2-up save thing. It's the armoured skin or whatever. It's got some hard skin or whatever that you can take. Slug skin you can take as a magic item on top, so it's -1 to hit. Blackened plate is another way of getting up to 2-up, because a blackened plate is full plate armour, so it's 4-up plus his inbuilt armoured hide 2 makes that a 2-up save. And I forget what the actual effect of the blackened plate is. I know it's got rules other than magical full plate armour. It's quite expensive, but possibly worth it. 3+ ward against flaming, which is, you know, not bad. So, do you want... So basically the 3-up ward against flaming is costing you 10 points. Actually, yeah, I prefer black and plate to just the +1 save, because I think 10 for that might turn out to be really useful. Cool. So, well done, Josh. That's good. Clint came in second with Britannia. Duke, Hippogriff, Gromril, Heroism. So, Killing Blow, Monster Slayer, Honor Hippogriff, Lance, blah, 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 blah. Duke's a Grail Knight anyway, so he's got magical attacks and so on. And then he's got loads of cool stuff. Lady Elise Ducar, I think, is one of my favourite rules that they've written for a character in the old world so far. I think she's really interesting how she functions, and I think the fact that she can take 2 of the Law of Britannia, Law of the Lady, whatever it's called, is pretty good, because one of them is basically a 6-up/5-up regen. So essentially the unit of knights that she's joins has got their ward and they've got a regen as well. And her other one is like +1 strength and additional AP, and they're both remains in play and can be at the same time. So at least you can stick in a unit of knights, really, really buff them up, and then she essentially goes around the table with this unit of really buffed up knights, just dispelling stuff, because she's got super cool abilities on the dispel. Peasant Bowman, 2 Knights of the Realm, Britannia, more Peasant Bowman, 2 units of that. Then he's got 2 units of Pegasus Knights, very sensible, best unit of the game, possibly. Then he's got a big block of Grail Knights, possibly a bit too big. I mean, if you could drop that down to 4 and take another 3 Pegasus Knights, you'd probably want to do that instead, but, you know, whatever. And then you've got a Field Trebuchet, which is probably a waste of points, but cool model, so, you know, whatever. And then Goonie managed to win with Pendant of Caleth and the Dragon Slaying Sword. It's interesting, giving him Monster Slayer. Actually, Dragon Slaying Sword's offensive. I don't think it has any strength bonus or any AP. It just gains the Monster Slayer keyword, which is, you know, decent, but this guy's only got 4 attacks, so... 4 Focus Familiars and a Lore Familiars. This Gurney really wants to get something off, and he's gone for Demonology. Okay, so he's got the Witch Elf, he's got a Hag with the Executioner's Axe and the Rune of Cain. Yeah, I've seen this. This is in the email that I need to talk about as well. So yeah, I've seen this. He's got some Doomfire Warlocks and some other bits and pieces and managed to win a tournament with this thing. I think what he managed to win it with is probably the Hag hiding in the Witch Elves. And the Dreadlord being pretty hard to kill. Yeah. So, well done, Goody. Absolutely brilliant result. Dark Elves are doing really badly at the moment, so you've smashed the meta. This one. Ah, yes, the one where there's no lists or results. That's why I didn't include that. And then the 4th tournament, GTS, BCN, whatever that stands for, which was in Spain. So, Miquel Dominguez came 3rd. With Wood Elf Realms, which is very good for the Woodies. Ogre Kingdoms winning? Good lord. And Orcs and Goblins coming in 2nd? What on earth is... Beastmen coming last? Look at that. These 3 coming last and these 3 coming top. What absolute madness. Okay. So, okay. Miguel with Woodies, Dragon, Ogre Blade, 5 at Ward. -1 to hit in a challenge, something like that. Treatment Ancient, very sensible. Waystalker, because he wants some Waywatchers? No, just a Waystalker with the Ruby Ring and Farine. Now, I think they've FAQ'd that you can't use that. You can't use the Waystalker's ability to snipe at characters with a Ruby Ring. I don't know whether that's how he was playing it, but I'm pretty certain they've FAQ'd it. It is a cool ability though. If he's not read the FAQ, that's pretty cool. I quite liked it because like other stuff's broken. Why can't Wood Elves have something that is? 24 Glade Guard. He's gone for Arcane Bodkins. Hagbane tips with the Glade Riders and the Scouts, but these have got 2 AP. It's got 2 units of Sisters, which again is sensible because they're just so good. A unit of Wild Riders, which are also really good. Just difficult to wield because they've got Frenzy and like Movement 9 and Swift Stride. So, you know, they've got quite a big distance. So, yeah, well done, Miguel. Where did you come? You came 3rd. That was that one. And then 2nd place, Nomadic War. Yeah. So he's got a General Black Orc in a Boar Chariot with an effigy of Mork. Don't know what that does. We shall soon find out. And a Choppier Axe, which is just more AP and stuff, I think. Then, excuse me. Lovely. Then, magic items. Here we go. Bigger Choppier Axe. Jesus Christ! It's got all the rules: killing blow, magical attacks. No, it's just a great weapon with killing blow. And doesn't get the. Sorry, I've just got to straighten my leg and move some tendons around. Right. Bigger Choppier Axe. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sold. I mean, obviously, if you are listening at any stage, if you can, comment as to how the hell you get that to work, that would be good. What's the effigy of Mork? That's probably, it sounds like, here we go. -1 to hit in combat. So that's pretty... Oh my god, you could take that with the bedazzling helm for 95 points. That was -2 to hit in combat. That's pretty nasty. Yeah. And he's on a chariot, which is interesting. Then we've got a weird knob on a wyvern. I really like that with wild magic because it basically means that he's not the general though. So he's gone for lore familiar. I hope he's not hoping to get an 18-inch effect with the wild magic stuff because he's not the general. So he doesn't have an 18-inch command range. It's just your leadership. You get an 18-inch command range if you're the general or the battle standard bearer on a large target, but you've got to be one of those two first. He's got a weird knob with the choppiest chopper. I have... What is going on? What is this list? It's so weird. I mean, I love it, but it's so weird. I can't figure this out. It's really bizarre. Choppiest chopper, what's that? Strength +1 AP3. Why would you do that on a wizard? 2 attacks, so strength 5 AP3, 2 attacks, a weapon skill 4. I mean, I guess. Why not? Maybe. I mean, yeah. I'd if that was loot, but then there's much better weapons to take with illusion too. So yeah, I don't know. And then we've got a big boss with the battle standard bearer. Several wolf chariots. These are good, you know, because they're so cheap and they get around and do quite a bit of work. Got some wolf rider mob. Black Orc chariots are pretty good. I think they're not. I don't think they're that good. I prefer Orc chariots. She's got a couple of those as well. A big Orc boar boy mob with the banner of butchery. Which is Vanguard move or something, and then another Black Orc Boar Chariot. Why has he got 1 in core? Maybe he's allowed 1 in core because of the general or something. But yeah, lots of. This is a proper MSU style list. This, so I'd love to see how that works. He's got frenzy through the boar chariot. Can you do that? I thought... Hold on a minute. Boar chariot. 0-1 may have the frenzy special rule. A frenzy chariot may have the war paint special rule. It doesn't take away the save, does it? So you can frenzy your general for 2 points. And you can give it war paint, which is a 6-up ward, which he's got. I mean, I don't know what's going on with this list. I really don't know what's going on. It's bizarre, but fantastic. And then Josep managed to win the 4th Torneo DTSBCN with this list that he's written on some software that really translates quite badly to this. But anyway, he went with ogres and managed to win a tournament, which is absolutely fantastic. So what we started off with? We started off with a Slaughtermaster, Ruby Ring of Ruin, level 4, Battle Magic, General, Lore Familiar, so he can pick the spells he wants. So that's smart. Then we've got another Slaughtermaster. And this one's got the big bucket thing because he's got more impact hits. And he's got this one's just the general. Okay. Why wouldn't you make that one the general? I don't get it. Not sure what's going on there. Then he's got some Noblar Trappers. This is really hard to rule. More Noblar Trappers. Some Iron Guts, which is given Veteran to. I mean, Iron Guts are basically the same as like Ogre Bulls, but you can give them Veteran, which is obviously pretty good. Fistful of Laurels on a Gut Lord is interesting. It's quite an expensive item. I think like each wound you do counts as double towards combat res or something. Something like that. It's pretty good. I don't think it's that powerful actually, but it's pretty good. And then some bulls. Some bulls with iron fists. Yeah, iron fists are great. +1 save and attack. What's not to like? And then we've got a Noblar scrap thingy. And then a man-eater. Maybe more. I don't know. It's difficult to read this thing. Mornfang Cav, which are one of the best units in the game, I think. These are fantastic. Cannibal Totem. Oh, allows you to reroll charges or something, but you can only roll 1d6 for pursuit because they're too busy eating or something like that. Yeah. Then has he got another unit of Mornfang Cav? I think that's his unit. More man-eaters there, doesn't it? So unit Mornfang Cav there, and then and then he's got some Yetis, which are okay. He's got a Gorger, which are okay-ish, and then he's got another Gorger. So it's an interesting list. I'm not really I don't know whether I've read all that properly, but it looks like he's gone like sort of vaguely MSUE, which is interesting. So well done, Josip, for managing to win a tournament with the bloody ogres. Ogres of all things. And there was another one on New Recruit, which I'll just quickly have a look at. And then we'll have a look at an email that somebody sent to me. So from there, closed tournaments, it was this one. Was it this one? Oh, was it that I didn't check last week? Oh, God. Where is it? Bloody thing. Right. I thought there was one on New Recruit. Obviously not. Obviously not. Ogres and Dark Elves with wins. Nice week to disrupt the meta. Yeah, it is a little bit. I wonder if it's an anomaly or if people are starting to learn how to use them more effectively. I think one of them was in... so one of those results was in Spain. And you often find with Games Workshop games that there's problems with translation. So, especially with like FAQs and stuff, they're not necessarily very good at translating FAQs. So, I did notice that the Dark Elf player... Sorry, a Wood Elf player with Ruby Ring of Ruin on the Waystalker, which you used to be able to, because the Waystalkers, which is like the sniper character, their special rule used to be you could pick a character when you're using a missile attack, which obviously the Ruby Ring of Ruin is one, so you could essentially do 2d6 strength 4 AP1 hits on, a unit champion or a wizard that was in a unit or, whatever, and do a bit of damage there. They've FAQ'd that, but it might not have been translated very well for Spain. So that could be a factor. So there could be a translation factor that means that some of the stuff that but then again, there's broken stuff like one of the most broken things in the whole game is this thing. Like you give it an Armour of Ages, you've got a toughness 6 model that you got to re-roll wound rolls against. Absolutely insane. So not to mention the fact that you can give it a 5 at ward, so it's basically got a 4 up save, 5 at regen, 5 at ward. Absolutely nuts. So yeah, it's just really interesting to see other stuff doing quite well, like the ogre list we just had a look at. Like, there's nothing in there that sort of stands out as being particularly brilliant, to be honest. It could just be because like 3-game tournaments, like it could just be about who you came up against. So it could be like that your opponents fell quite nicely. I very nearly won an AOS tournament, but I had to run off because the family member was unwell. But yeah, the main reason I would have won that tournament is because of how the gains were falling. Like I'd built a list, Mega Gargants had more or less just come out, and they were getting like really popular. So I built a list that would just devour Mega Gargants. I played a little friendly with a friend on the Friday night beforehand. I'd killed 2 a turn, so it took me like literally 2 turns to destroy his entire army, and so that's how I'd built the list. And then first game was against ogres, which again pretty good at dealing with that too. High wound, stuff, just really good at nuking stuff, really. So yeah, I would have probably won that one had I stayed, but I had to go. But anyway, so the point I'm making is that sometimes it's about how your opponents fall against you, like in terms of where you end up in the rankings. What was I going to do? I was going to quickly go back and have a look at that, which is on Best Coast Pairings, isn't it? So let's see how. But the Dark Elf, I mean the Ogre one, I suspect that there is a good Ogre list out there. I don't know what it is, but I guess there must be a good Ogre list out there. But because there is some good stuff in the book. It's not absolutely terrible. It's just because everything's expensive. It's quite difficult to wield appropriately. Which one was it? That was the one that wasn't. It's that one, wasn't it? I think that was ogres. Where's the bloody Dark Elf win gone? Oh yeah, no, it was ogres. I was going to have a look at. So he played against Polo with Dark Elves, and not a great Dark Elf list. It's okay, but it's not great. No, although it does not depend on the Caliph. I mean, people are working out that this is particularly effective, but yeah. Carlos Granero, you played against that, which was okay. Bretonians, illusion but no magic weapon. Okay, 8 Grail Knights, 6 Pegasus Knights. I mean, yeah. I mean, although actually ogres and Bretonians, ogres are pretty good against Bretonians. Actually, that they seem to be quite effective against them. And then Wood Elves. Yeah, Wood Elves. Oh, that's Miguel who came in third. And I suppose the other thing is as well, it's only 12 players. So, like, yeah. But, I mean, that's not to say that Josep hasn't done a fantastic job in managing to win 3 games on the bounce with ogres in general. I mean, he clearly has. But it's not like there's 80 players there over 5 games, for instance. So, and then was it this one where High Elves? Oh, do you know what? I don't think I've actually put this on my. Oh no, maybe I did put it on my data. I think I did. I forgot to cover this one. Right, okay. So then also over the weekend, I just missed it because I think it was top left. I tend to just skip over the one that was top left. We had Gathering Darkness, which was another tournament in Australia. I think we've had 3 in Australia this weekend. So Chris came third with Team Kings, Nick Beattie with Vampire Counts in second, and Jordan Newstead, congratulations, winning with High Elves, which actually doesn't happen that often. Team King on foot, not ideal. You want it on a dragon, really, because the dragon's pretty good and cheap. 200 points for a dragon. High Priest, Cloak of the Dunes, that's smart. I like that as an artifact because it can still go in units, but it can then leave a unit and travel over something and do like some hits, not great, but some. Hieratic Jar means you can use Arise twice, once per turn, I think, which is like the Resurrect spell leadership test thing. Necromancy's got a Royal Herald BSB on foot with a Warding Splint. Don't know what that does. Necrotect with the Armour of Meteoric Iron, which is 3 up but can't be improved, something like that. I mean, Necrotects are pretty good because they allow you to essentially give a unit hatred and +1 attack, which is excellent. So it's not frenzy, it's hatred and +1 attack. However, if you're going to get them, I will warn you that that's what happens because the join between the hand and the whip arm bit is like so thin. It's unbelievable. just snaps off. Like I literally didn't do anything to it. I barely touched it and it just fell off. It's got Tomb Guard and Skeleton Warriors, which is pretty, solid core choice. Yeah, I mean these are pretty good. He's got a couple of Carrion, which I think are slightly rubbish. He's got some Ushabti. No, none of these fellas. These fellas are like one of the best things. Ushabti with great bows, very partially painted. They're one of the best things. Tomb Scorpions are great. Casket, Screaming Skull. So that's a pretty standard all-round tournamenty list. Here we've got Nick, who came in second with some Vampire Counts with Ogre Blade, Crown of the Damned, Curse of the Revenant. I don't know what they do. I can't remember what they do off the top of my head. The Sound Fluffy. It's sort of about there-ish, isn't it? What was I looking for again? I can't remember. Ogre Blade, we know what that does. Crown of the Damned, Curse of the Revenant. Crown of the Damned, Fort Ward. Oh, Fort Ward, but stupid. So he went with that. Oh, okay. Curse of the Revenant. That is a vampiric ability, which is before the magic items, +1 wound characteristic for 50 points. So he's just on foot, isn't he? Okay. And then he's gone for a Sceptre of de Noiro, which you would do. Get to resurrect twice. An Acolyte, just because he's got 90 points spare, probably. BSB. Yep. Dark Acolyte, which means Dark Acolyte is the one that can res as well. Isn't it Invocation of Nehek? Yeah, they don't call it Arise, they call it Invocation of Nehek. So that's pretty decent in a unit. He's got a White Lord and a Team Banshee. He's got a White Lord presumably because he wants to take some Graveguard. Yeah, here we go. So he's got the Drakenhof Guard with the Drakenhof banner. This is very narrative. I really like this. I'd love to see this army. I bet he's painted it beautifully as well. Yeah, improves its regen by 1. That was it. So they've got a 5-up regen, which makes them really tough. Yeah, this is a pretty solid list, to be fair. He's got some Blood Knights down here as well. 5 of them. They're great. And he's got the Corpse Cart with the warped tintinabulation. Corpse Cart allows you to like resurrect stuff. Excuse me a sec. Sorry, my leg was misbehaving. And he's got some dire walls to make up some points. So, yeah, pretty good. Well done, Nick. Nice to see a very narrative army with like everybody named and everything. The Verborgenwald pack. Excellent. And then Jordan managed to win. Archmage level 4 on foot. Interesting. Law Familiar, Warden of Safari, Illusion. What's he? He wants to do the You Can't Charge Me spell, doesn't he? He's got Prince with also on foot. How the hell did he win with this? Well, there's no dragon. This is most odd. He's got a bow. Ruby Ring, Lawmaster, so he's a wizard as well. 12 Reavers, who are awful. Banner of Illyrian. Like, what is going on? We're getting some really weird lists, like win stuff. This is fantastic. This shows the game is not as unbalanced as I think quite a lot of people think. Illyrian, move through cover. Okay, fine. Okay. 10 Sea Guard, 5 Dragon Princes. Phoenix Guard, 2 Lion Chariots, a Flame Spire Phoenix. This list isn't classically good. It's I have no idea. Where does everything go? Like the Prince, where does the Prince go? In the Phoenix Guard? And then the Archmage goes in the Sea Guard, maybe. they've got the Razor standard, which gives the arrows AP2 or something. And I don't get it. I don't get this list at all. I don't get how it functions. I mean, you got some Lion Chariots for a counter punch. Flame Spire Phoenix is all right, but like, yeah, absolutely bizarre. He managed to win a tournament with this. That's well done, Jordan. Like, if you're listening, please let me know how the hell you did it with young Teclis and Tyrion. It's a very narrative style list, isn't it? My lord, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on at all. And there's 24 people, so it's not like... Oh, Skaven list. Let's have a quick look at... See who's got rats. Grayseer, Bell, Plague Priest, Chieftain, Scurrying, Rats, Rattling Gun. Where's the Rattling Gun? Here. Where's the Rattling Gun? You've missed 2 Rattling Guns. Yeah, you don't need to give them command. They're just going to die. You don't even need to give them the extra 10 models, to be honest. It's a waste. And help it. I mean, yeah, that's not going to do very well. Cool. So that's all the tournaments. I think I haven't missed anything. So finally, onto an email that I received from a chap called Ryan, who says, I'll just read it. He wanted me to have a look at his Dark Elf list, so I'm just going to build it first off, and then give you my thoughts. RB's D's. So 2,000 Dark Elves. Because I think he took this to a tournament. He says, been iterating this list over 16 games against his group, and I've played into a bunch of really meta lists. Found a lot of success specifically into the undead factions because, as you'll see, unlike everything else that's meta right now, I'm relying on yeeting glass cannon infantry up the board with Steed of Shadows. And then he goes on, and I'll read the rest of it later because it'll make sense then. So what we've got is we've got a Supreme Sorceress who's level 4, obviously. She's not the general. He's not put who the general is, but I don't suppose it really matters with this. She's on a Black Dragon, of course. She's got Demonology. What did he give her? Pendant of Calith, Focus Familiar. Pendant of Calith, Focus Familiar. What's a Focus Familiar do? Oh, okay. You can add a bit of range to your spells. You can add 12-inch range to a spell. That's not terrible, actually. It is one use. Yes, one use only. But actually, that could be quite important. Then he's gone for a Death Hag with 2 hand weapons. On for Rune of Cain, Gifts of Cain. What's Rune of Cain do? Extra attacks D3. What are the options? -1 leadership, Witch Brew, character the mount, and unit cannot lose frenzy. Yeah, keep Rune of Cain. That's D3 extra attacks is good. And he's gone for the Headsman's Axe because basically strength +1, AP 1, killing blow, magical attacks, 2 hands. But she does have strike first, so plus D3 attacks at that profile. So 3. So 3 plus D3, so like 5 attacks on average. At strength, what was that? 6 AP 1 and killing blow. Strength 5 AP 1 and killing blow. That's not terrible. Unpoisoned attacks, which is quite nice. And then we've got another Death Hag with what have we got? Death Hag with 2 hand weapons, Rune of Cain, same rune. And then we've gone for the Giant Blade. Okay. And then we've got an Assassin with Dark Venom. which is the Killing Blow one. Yeah, of course. So then we've got in core some Witch Elves. There's 25 of them, so it's a pretty big brick. And they've got full command and the Banner of Hargoneth, which is AP better by 1. That's Armor Bane 2. Yeah, Hargoneth is better. That's way more reliable. And I guess, and like he said, this one, the Giant Blade one, tends to go in here because, well, the Giant Blade has no additional AP on it. So if you put it in with the Banner of Hargoneth, then, you know, you basically got 3 attacks like this. Striking first, you know, Strength 5, AP 1, Armor Bane 2, doing multiple wounds. So that's pretty good. Negates some of the, as Ryan said, it negates some of the downsides. Got a couple of units of Dark Riders with hand weapons, cavalry spears, no crossbows. We have got shields though. And scouts. Both shields and scouts? Both shields and scouts. So a couple of units of scouting these. I just pressed delete instead of duplicate, didn't I? What an idiot. Right. Yeah, 501 points on the nose. And then we've got some blackguards. By the way, blackguard is a word that came from a concatenation of the 2 words blackguard. So it should be properly pronounced blackguards of Nagarond. But anyway, so 19 of these chaps. Hand weapon, dread halberd. He's gone for drilled. Is that an option? It is an option. And then he's gone for a full command, and that's it. Nothing special with them. We've got some more Witch Elves, 11 of them, with a hag and a standard bearer, presumably, and then some harpies. Harpies are great. Really, they've got a lot of utility, you know, and they're quite cheap. Just 55 points for something that's actually relatively challenging to kill, because, you know, skirmishers. Fly 10, move through cover, so you can just drop them behind stuff so they can't be seen quite often. And then they get to basically move 20 inches to get behind something. So, are we up to points yet? Why am I 34 points cheap? What have I missed? He says he's 1999. I've missed something, I think. Level 4, Black Dragon, Lore Familiar. We've forgotten the Lore Familiar. We've got to focus Lore Familiar. So I can pick the spells. 1996. I've missed 3 points somewhere. Whatever. It's an additional hand weapon to something, isn't it? K9 weapons. Ah, there we go. Additional hand weapons. That. Cool. So what he said is the best single model in the entire roster is the Dark Lowly Death Hag on foot. She's naked, has 2 wounds, but buried her unit, and she absolutely destroys everything she touches. Save a big dragon, unless you give them a slaying sword. So, Death Hag with a Headsman's Axe and Rune of Cain gets 4 plus D3, Strength 5, First Strike, Killing Blow attacks with Hatred for 125 points. Why does it give 5? Oh, Frenzy. Yeah, so she starts with 3, plus 1 attack for Frenzy, plus D3 attacks for the Rune of Cain. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, Killing Blow, that is pretty good. The Hag with the Giant Blade goes in the main Witch Elf unit, making up for its weakness, giving it AP 2 in conjunction with the Banner of Hargoneth. So the Giant Blade, the Giant Blade's not got any AP. I don't get how it gets up to AP 2, because Banner of Hargoneth is AP 1, unless I'm missing something. I don't know. Headsman's Axe goes either in that unit as well, or usually in the small unit 11, which is to hunt things like Dragon Ogres, Demigriff, blah blah blah. Assassin goes in the Blackguard, so almost scary infantry bricks have a model with effectively Killing Blow, Hatred, and Strikes First. That's smart. Also going 10 wide, the Witch Elves. He's going Line Hammer with the Witch Elves. Yeah, they'll put out a lot of attacks. It's not going to be 29 attacks though, because if he attacks it a bit more narrowly, you're not going to be able to use. You'll have quite a bit of supporting attacks, which means you'll lose like 2 attacks per model. But you know, I mean, yeah, the witch elves are pretty scary when they get into combat, because that one attack, although it doesn't sound like a lot, they've got 2 hand weapons, so it's up to 2. They've got frenzy, so they're up to 3. You know, that's all pretty good. And then they've got poisoned attacks, so 6 to hit, auto wound. So they're pretty nasty, and they're pretty high initiative as well. So initiative 5 plus 1 for Elven Reflex is 6. So you know you need to be initiative 3 charging them in order to just strike simultaneously. So realistically, in order to charge them and get enough of a blow in before they, you know, rinse you, you're going to have to hit them quite a few times. He says, I've tried both the Dreadlord on Dragon and level 4 on Dragon, and I find with Demonology the level 4 is slightly less effective in combat, but is super efficient and saves me a lot of points and can still buff herself with Demonology. Yeah, so the Demonology spell lore, there is one spell in particular that, you know, if you're charging in a dragon, is going to be pretty vessel. Self, range self, plus 1, strength and attacks and AP, right? So on a dragon, you know, it goes up to strength 8, 7 attacks, and, you know, AP, I think it's claws or AP 2, so AP 3. I mean, that's all pretty nasty, especially if you get both of the buffs on it. So, you know, it just becomes really horrible and very difficult to deal with. The thing is, you can't take the Shield of Grond and make it super defensive, but still, he's made it, I think, about as defensive as he can, really, with a decent amount of output. And I get access to Gathering Darkness, which is very effective into undead. That's the Law of Nagaroth, isn't it? Gathering Darkness. Oh, hold on. No, it's not. Gathering Darkness. Is that that's a demonology thing. Is that -2 leadership and you can't use generals? Can't use inspiring presence. Can target in combat. Why is that effective on undead? I guess a lot of their abilities are leadership based, so if you're quite nearby you can yeah, so yeah, a lot of their res abilities. I guess like a necromancer, a master necromancer. Have I got one? Is leadership what, 8? So 6 to resurrect stuff. Yeah, okay. I mean, I can see how that's useful. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, dude, it's a really good. So this is tactic anyway. Often I get first turn because I only have 4 drops or my Chaffer Scouts. Technically, rules as written, if you're dropping scouts, you're deploying units after your opponent, and therefore they get +1. So, like, revealing scouts gives them +1 to the first roll. Technically, like, that's not how quite a lot of people play it, but, you know, technically. I'll use the Witch Elves up 24 inches using my Dark Elf reroll to reroll the casting roll. So, yeah, so the Dark Elves get the Blessing of Hecate, which means they get to reroll 1 casting roll per game. It's not quite as good as the High Elf one, but anyway. To be right in front of my opponent's scariest unit, then move the Harpies up to redirect anything that could flank the Witches. That's fair. Blackguard with drilled, march column up 15, and other Witches march up 10. Dragon hands out somewhere behind the large Witch group, ready to charge turn 2 or fly behind my enemy's lines. It's great because Steed of Shadow circumvents the immobility of infantry, and I can deny frenzy baits by just putting the Witches 1 inch in front of the unit they want to blender. So, and blender they do, apparently. So, yeah, I mean, I'd really like this list. I think it's alright. I think it's... he has invited me to a game on Warhol. I've not quite figured out how to use Warhol yet. And I did not like doing AOS online through whatever it was, tabletop, TTN, TTH, tabletop, whatever. I didn't particularly enjoy that. It was a bit weird, a bit jarring. I like the physical things. So, but I'll give it a go. I probably should, because I seem to have lots of people around the world who listen to me natter on for some bizarre reason. I don't get it, but anyway. Um, yeah. So I probably should give it a go, really. It'd probably be decent for battle reports, really, because I haven't set up a gaming setup at the house yet, although I did do one vid with Dave, didn't I? And if anybody else is ever in Lincolnshire, and Warhol is actually much better than TTS. Yeah, I've had a few, like, practice sort of... It's just, it's digital. I like physical. I like War. Like, if I wanted to play Warhammer like online, I'd play Total War. Like, I know it's a different game, but like it just doesn't. It's not the same. And I know I'm going to sound really old and like 80 and bloody computers, but you know it's just not. It's just not the same as being. I don't know. Anyway. I really should have a go at setting it up though. Did you cover dwarves already? I did. We talked about the tournament where dwarves did quite well, which was a pretty decent list, quite sensible. And to be honest, I think Iron Drakes are possibly the dwarven cheat code, but I'm not sure yet. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the new book, because we've got Royal Host, which I'd imagine will basically put, I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to put Hammerers as core for Royal Host, and then they're going to put, I don't know, Rangers as unlimited core for like Expeditionary Force or whatever, and that's going to be probably about it. We've got some special characters. I'd imagine what's going to happen is if you take the Slayer King and he's the general, then you're allowed a unit of Slayers as a core choice. I'd imagine that kind of thing would be what they're going to do. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. You've got the Goblin Hewers coming back, isn't it? And from conversations with a few playtesters, albeit quite a while ago now, but from conversations with playtesters, apparently the Goblin Hue is very good, which is cool because it's a great model. It's a great model to look at. If you've ever had the misfortune of having to put one together in the past, you'll know it's an absolutely honking piece of metal witchcraft. Mainly because there's loads of points where it breaks all the frickin' time, and you can't pin it because it's just not enough of a contact point. So, it comes on tabletop when you want to try something and you don't have the models. Yeah. That's kind of what I've been using it for. So when I theory craft an army here, I'll just put it on Warhol and just see how it fits on the table. Before deciding to buy it, because like if it's not going to fit and you can't actually physically do what you want, it's pointless. Anyway, back on Dark Elves, I've got an interesting list that I'm working on. Is it this one? That's not the interesting list. Where is it? Scream cheese. Oh yes, elves. Yeah, what about this? I don't know whether it would be any good or not. I just think it's interesting. High Beastmaster as general. 3 Charybdis. High Beastmasters on a Manticore. Supreme Sorceress on a Black Dragon. Little Assassin. I gave him the Pearl of Infinite Bleakness, and I can't remember what it does or why I did that. But why have I done that? I don't know. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I've given him that either. Neither of those are very good at all. I don't know why I've done that. Anyway, Dark Venom, that's the Killing Blow one, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's why I gave him, because he's got... So the reason I went for Life Takers because he gets D3+1 multiple shots, that all of which get killing blow because of the venom, which is quite cool. Sort of sniping people in the head. I don't think it would ever happen, but core units, yeah. I mean, maybe Witch Elves is the play, really, isn't it? I don't know. But I quite like Charybdis, actually, from doing my monster video. I recorded my monster tier list. I think I've put that down to come out on Thursday. But one thing I missed when I was looking at it the first time around is this: Strength 7, AP2. It's pretty good. 5 attacks at Strength 7, AP2. And it's also Weapon Skill 5, so it's no slouch, right? So it's pretty good. And then it's got one additional attack that does something else. But it's got a decent amount of stomps as well. D3+1 is alright. Again, D3+1, Strength 7, auto hits AP2. Like, it's pretty good. And it's got this thing. Enemy units within 6 inches of -1 leadership. And leadership's quite important. So, you know, it's alright. I thought it had... yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's an interesting list, I think. I quite like... I love the model for, like, the Charybdis and the War Hydra. Like, I think the War Hydra is, you know, is pretty cool. It's not as good as the Charybdis, though, because it's only, like, Strength 5. But I think Strength 7 is just... I guess that's a typo. but still, it's pretty good. But yeah, anyway. Slayers are absolutely terrible, and one core unit in core I had to build. Yeah, Goblin Hue. Horrible model, great when it's finished. Although any part of the up to that point is it makes you feel like a dwarf because you spend most of your time swearing. Fucking bloody Games Workshop. Bloody people designing this nonsense. Slayers are absolutely terrible, though. Yeah, I think that's the problem with them. You know, I just don't get how they actually get there. Because, like, you know, the Witch Elves are terrible, but, like, oh, God, what's his name? Just sent me a bloody email. I just read it out and I've forgotten it now. Robbie? Sorry. No, Robbie was the Lizardman chap. Rob? Was it another Rob? Everybody's called Rob or Richard. Anyway, yeah. So Slayers. Oh yeah, this is my. Yeah, I've been sort of, when I saw the dwarf list was coming out, I was sort of thinking about, well, if they make Slayers core and we have a Slayer keep, like, how am I going to, like, build it? And just like, there's just like, you know, it's movement 3. Even if you put them in marching column, they're only going 9. Like, and you've got no way of getting them up the other end of the table, so they just end up getting charged and dying and stuff. And, like, you know, they just, I mean, death blows, like, okay, but, like, it's not, you know, it just doesn't. I just don't get how you get them there. Like, 1 wound, toughness 4's all right, but 1 wound, no armor, no ward. It's the lack of ward save that really surprises me. I thought they'd have had something, just some kind of defense, just to, you know, help them get there. But, you know, whatever. Like I don't know, like a 5-up ward against, you know, attacks suffered or wounds suffered in the shooting phase, you know, would I think fix them. And yeah, give them an extra 2 points each for that. Like, I won't make them cost any more than that, but yeah, terrible. So that's probably why they've not done a Slayer keep, isn't it? But apparently the Goblin here is going to be pretty good, so I might have to suffer through one of those. And I don't care whether it's still in metal or resin. I mean, weirdly, I do prefer metal because, you know, I have a multi-tool, and a multi-tool allows you to pin them so they don't break. And if you've got metal models and you have a multi-tool, you should pin every single joint because then it won't break. And actually, they become pretty sturdy. I'm not going to drop one on the floor on purpose to prove a point, because it won't prove a point and the thing will splinter into 1,000 pieces. But anyway, I think I'm coming to the end of what I was supposed to be talking about today. In fact, I've gone beyond what I was supposed to be talking about today, but whatever. I hope that this has been useful. If you could like the video, that would be probably useful. I don't really know what liking the video really does, but you know, I'm told it's useful. I am going to do some watch videos where we're going to sit down and I do some painting and we watch like a battle report or something like that, and just go through other people's performances. There's one in particular from a tournament that Matt Goldsborough did a bit ago that somebody mentioned as being really interesting, because apparently he gets a lot of rules wrong in his favour. And you know, I know Matt, he's not a cheat, right? So I'd be really interested to go through that and just work out what he's done. What he does do is he sort of reads things you know, very briefly, because he's got like about 12 million game systems to keep on top of, and you know, obviously he's just interpreted things massively in his favour, but he's not somebody who I would have. There are some players who I do know a mono demon army. Well, I will show you what I'm going to do when I finally get around to rebasing them. Ba-bam. There we go. I need to finesse it a little bit because, you know, I've got like 100 points spare, but this is basically it. Rotigus. I mean, there's no Rotigus, but I like Rotigus. Herald, Smallpox Scrivener, which does something cool that I've forgotten. Yeah, demons can reroll hit rolls of 1. It's a Herald, so it's got a 12-inch thingy. That goes on a palanquin, doesn't it? There we go. Does that make it a large target? No. It would be cool if it did, but it doesn't. Yeah, so big block of plague bearers and then plague drones, because they're really quick. Fly 9 and Swift Stride. Like, they're really quick. And toughness 5 is just going to be an absolute nightmare for people to deal with. And the fact they've got regen 6 and they've got their 5 up ward inbuilt. And I think, they don't have an armor save as well, do they? No. But still, like, they're pretty good. I like them. And you got to reroll 60 to hit against them. You know. Is Plague Proboscis cool? I don't know. Anyway, no, because I haven't taken it. But that's kind of like the core of what I'm thinking about. And Beast and Nurgle are just loads of fun. So that's what I'd do. Like, that's what I'd do for Nurgle Demons, to be honest. Something like this. But I've got some points spare and I've got a bit of tweaking to do. And Standard of Seeping Decay is, I think, one of the most broken things in the game. No, it's not that. Unit carriers may reroll any ruined rolls. Oh no, I decided against the other one. Yeah, so you got the icon. This one, isn't it? Yeah, you get +1 combat result for each unsaved wound caused by poison attacks. So, you know, you got lots of poison. Anyway, I'm bollocking on now, but yeah. So you get to reroll hit rolls of 1 because of the Herald, reroll wound rolls of 1 because of that. So you're getting a lot of rerolls basically with the units that aren't terrible, and they've got poisoned attacks as well, and they've got plague swords, which do not allow regen saves of all things, which is really characterful actually. So yeah, this is that's my kind of solo demon list. That's the one I really want to do because I love Nurgle demons. I think they're just so much fun to paint as well because you just slop it all on. Although I do quite like the Tzeentch one that I've got as well because it's just tons of magic. But you know, I don't know which. I've got all these models that I need to rebase, and I've got all these Khemri that I need to finish off, and I need to get on with that. So stop distracting me and let me go away. But anyway, thanks for the question. Yeah. Anyway, I was saying goodbye, wasn't I? So yeah, if you could like the video, if you have indeed liked the video, I mean, I wouldn't want you to be dishonest. And if you've got this far and are still watching, probably should press subscribe, because this is me really. I do just natter onto camera for a while, and hopefully I'll catch you around soon. So